welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for coming. Like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment, press your notification bell so you don't miss anything. If you could speak to your younger self, what would you say? What are some of the things that you would really encourage your younger self to do? And where are you on those matters? Now, if I could talk to my younger self, I would say, be more confident, be more courageous, start out early, disciplining yourself. I would start setting goals from earlier on because the younger me never really had goals in mind. The few thoughts that I had did not manifest itself in true goals. So if I could go back in time and talk to myself, I would say, remember, you must have clear goals. You may not achieve them in the timeline that you want to achieve them, but certainly you must know what you want. Then you want to know how you want to get there. How are you going to accomplish the things that you set out to accomplish? So I would tell myself, fine, I need to make sure I have some strategies in place. I want to put some plans in place. And I would make every effort to work at those plans as often as I could and as diligently as I could. Another thing I would tell myself is that fear shouldn't stop me from achieving my goals. Fear is only natural. Anxiety is natural. When you don't know the end result, you are going to be timid. You're going to sometimes not want to move on. In order for me to succeed, I have to be willing to take the steps that are necessary. I have to get over those fears. So I would tell my younger self, don't worry about being too fearful. Worry about not starting what I have in mind. Worry about not having a goal. Worry about not having plans in place for my adult life. Now, if you could tell yourself something, would you say the same things? Our younger self is probably represented in our children, in our family members, or persons around us. Maybe they're not necessarily young, but they also are a little fearful. They're also not completely driven to succeed. So I would encourage you, look at the mistakes that you have made. Look at where you could have emphasized more things. Look at where you could have, accomplished more if you had just been a little bit more patient, a little bit more consistent and diligent, being intentional about what you want. Then I want you to pass that on to someone. Allow someone to be blessed by the word of encouragement. And if you're in a space where you no longer need to talk to your young self clearly, but your more adult self needs to hear these things, because sometimes we're not making as much effort as we need to. If you need to be encouraging yourself in this manner, please do so, because to get where you want to reach, to accomplish any goal that you have, then you must have some steps laid out. It is okay for you to have them in your head, but it's better for you to have them documented somewhere, because I've said to you before, it holds us accountable in a more stronger manner if we have them written down somewhere. Tell yourself that this is not the time to procrastinate. This is not the time to sit around and to just mope around every day and to be wondering what's next. It's time to sit and to have a plan in place. It's time to sit, encourage yourself, because you may not find persons who want to encourage you, and you shouldn't simply depend on others. Figure out what are the things you need to work on. What are the areas that are most stressing to you? What are the things you have on your plate? Sitting down, because you're not so sure what the end result is going to be, you don't move with them. You don't take any step at all to accomplish them. I want you to talk to yourself and consider this to be your younger, less mature self talking now to the adult you. And I want you to go back to those plans, especially if you still believe in them. Prepare a decent plan Look at what you will need, what resources you will need. Look at who you need to network with. Will you need money? Will you need some skills? What do you need? Maybe it's just that you need to forgive yourself. Maybe it's that you need to forgive others around you. Maybe you need to be more motivated in your daily life. Whatever those are, these are things that I no longer want you to sit and languish about, sit and be distressed about. So, talking to your young self is a good way to go, because if we could encourage anybody else around us, let us start by encouraging ourselves. That will represent our best effort. Remember, if you're new to this channel, I'm so happy to have you. Like, share. Don't forget, press the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Leave us a comment as well.